What's up everyone, welcome to the Food City Dirt Race Top 5 DFS Picks video for Sunday, April 9th at Bristol Motor Speedway. And that's right, we are going dirt track racing under the lights of Bristol for what should be a pretty fun race to watch. Unfortunately, looks like there's going to be a lot of weather in the schedule this weekend, but on Sunday it should clear up, so we should be good to go. And as always, I'm your host, Chris Pennell. You can find me on Twitter at ChrisPennell16, and this video is presented by PrizePicks. And in today's video, we are going over general track strategy, how to approach the slate from a DFS perspective, and my top 5 favorite plays on the slate. Now, please keep in mind this video has been recorded pre-practice and qualifying. Unfortunately, we do not have practice this week. We were supposed to get 2 sessions on Friday, and the rain did cancel that out, but we do get heat races on Saturday night, so at least we'll have some insight on who's going to be pretty fast entering Sunday night's race. But if you want the most up-to-date projections, analysis, and ownership projections, you can find that over on Stokastic using the link down below in the description. And as far as how we should approach the slate from a DFS perspective, it's definitely going to be a bit tough this week because we are working with very limited data and also with the loss of practice at a track that we have very limited data on. It's definitely going to be throwing darts a bit, although we do get heat races on Saturday, and the drivers that perform well in those heat races definitely should perform well during the race. The problem is a lot of these guys don't have that much dirt experience, and some are way better than others with their experience that they have on dirt. So we're probably going to see the cream rise to the top by the end of the race, but there's always a lot that can happen throughout because these drivers are going to be all over the track and there's definitely going to be mistakes being made. So we'll have to see how qualifying shakes out and how these heat races go. But I think looking at drivers that perform well at Bristol Dirt in the past obviously makes some sense. I think there's a little bit of correlation for drivers that are good at Bristol and Dover that do kind of transfer over to Bristol Dirt. Like Joey Logano, not really known as a dirt guy, but he's performed well at both Bristol Dirt races. So there's some correlation there with a couple of other drivers as well that we can get into later on. And we also have 250 laps. So dominant points, they're decently important. They're going to be there. We can't completely ignore them. But again, I'm not really sure how much we're going to see a driver just run away with this race, especially with very limited track time. And we'll see if the weather holds up for the Saturday heat races. Let's hope so. But if they don't, we're even more so in the dark. But again, we're just kind of targeting the guys that are good on dirt. And that kind of reflects in the Vegas odds this week if you guys don't want to do extensive research on that. But we're going to be watching the heat races. We're going to look at how they performed the dirt in the past, and we'll try to do our analysis from there. All right, so moving on to the picks, we'll start with number 5. And we have the 99 car from Trackhouse Racing, Daniel Suarez, $8,100 on DraftKings, $9K over on FanDuel. And the 2 Bristol Dirt races we have so far, pretty good. Second most DraftKings points per race, just under 70, average finish of 8th, average running position of 9.3, so he's not getting lucky there on his finishes. Driver rating over 100. He has a top 5, 2 top 15s, and he also has 61 laps led per race, was able to dominate one of them. And I think Daniel Suarez here at this price point does make some sense. He should have a fast car, and really just the fact of the matter is he's going to have to avoid wrecking out because I'm sure there's going to be some carnage throughout this race with some of these guys that don't have as much experience making mistakes and some guys that do. We saw that in prior years when Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell got wrecked out early, who were pretty much the odds-on favorite to win that race. So Daniel Suarez here at this price point, I think makes plenty of sense from what we've seen so far. And moving on to number 4, we're looking at a Hendrick driver who they've had a ton of speed so far this year. I think he's just a little bit too cheap. But we have Alex Bowman, $8,500 on DraftKings, $8,200 over on FanDuel. Love the price point over there. But Alex Bowman's no slouch on dirt. He actually owns a dirt team and I believe a dirt late model, if I remember correctly. So he has some dirt experience. He does have a top 10 at the Bristol Dirt race. It's only a 2-race sample size, but at this price point for a Hendrick car, I definitely think Bowman should be a consideration. And as of right now, I know it's early, but my model does show him having some value. And also, if you're looking at someone similar tracks to regular Bristol, like Dover, he tends to run very, very well there. And moving on to number 3, it's a driver that's usually not this expensive, so maybe that leaves his ownership a little bit lower, but it makes sense this week. And I love the price tag over on FanDuel. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., $1,800 on DraftKings, only $7,500 over on FanDuel. Now, usually, I would say that's an insane price tag for Ricky Stenhouse, but the guy is an excellent dirt racer. He has a top 5 at the Bristol Dirt race in the past. And again, if you're looking at similar track history to Bristol, Dover, which that might be a stretch, but I'm looking for any data points possible this week. But Stenhouse has performed well with those steeper tracks, and that should translate well, plus the add on the fact that it's dirt, which is perfect for Ricky Stenhouse. And he really only has a chance to win at races like Super Speedways or this Bristol Dirt race, so you have to imagine they're going to bring some of the best stuff they got this weekend. And before we get into our next pick, I have to mention our sponsor, PrizePicks, because they make these videos possible. And as of right now, if you're a new user over on their website, you can use promo code AWESEMO to get an instant deposit match bonus up to $100 in addition to to a free month of Stokastic plus Platinum. So come in, take advantage of all the tools that we have over on our website, make the best selections over on PrizePicks for DFS and betting. So again, that's promo code AWESEMO. You can find that down below in the link down in the description. All right, moving on to pick number 2 here. It's very tight up top, but we're going with the man who already won a race this year, Tyler Reddick, 10,700 on DraftKings, 13K. Over on FanDuel, has the second best odds to win this race, only behind Kyle Larson. Second best driver rating at the 2 Bristol dirt races, has a top 5, 2 top 10s, a good chunk of laps led, and should have won this race last year before getting wrecked out at the end by Chase Briscoe. Still a solid finish for him, but should have had a win under his belt. But Tyler Reddick, I'm a believer in the talent. This track sets up well for him, so I'm loving Reddick here. Before we get into our final pick here, if you guys could do me a favor, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Post tons of content on here each and every single day, so we would truly appreciate it. But anyway, our number 1 pick here, we're going to go with the man, the Dirt King, Kyle Larson. There's a reason he's the most expensive driver on both sites. 10-9 on DraftKings, 14 flat. Over on FanDuel, the odds on favorite to win this race. He has not won at Bristol Dirt yet. Got unlucky in the first year, but had a fast car. In year 2, had a fast car in the first year as well, but got wrecked out early on. But Kyle Larson should be the man to beat. He just won last week at Richmond. The Hendrick cars have been insanely fast, and Kyle Larson's been fast at each and every single week at every single track type. So I have no reason to believe that Kyle Larson won't be fast once again. I assume he's going to start close to the front. And there's a good chance he could dominate, win this race. So Kyle Larson, yes, he's expensive, but if he wins, you're going to need him in your lineup. So I'm loving Kyle Larson this week, and I'm sure a lot of others will as well. Just to recap, at number 5, we had Daniel Suarez. Number 4, Alex Bowman. Number 3, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Number 2, Tyler Reddick. And number 1, Kyle Larson. But that's all I got for you guys this week. If you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet done so. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave those down below. I'll be more than happy to get back with you. But I wish you all the best of luck, and I'll see you all next time.